Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, The Miracle Season. I'm excited. It's based on a true story, which I love. It's a sports movie I also love. Happens to be women's volleyball. I knew a lot about it. My sister played a lot of volleyball in high school. I was like the ball boy and the coach's son and stuff like that. So I played a little bit in CYO, men's volleyball, not women's volleyball. But anyway, this is about a volleyball team where there's a tragic death of one of the members of the team. They have to rally around that and try and win a state championship. I'm not aware of the story at all, so but sounds great. Helen Hunt is in it. She plays the coach. William Hurt is also in it, and then a bunch of girls I don't recognize at this moment, but I'm sure once I see them I'll be like, oh, that's the girl from what you call it. So anyway, I'll get into it a little bit here. See what it's all about, check in about halfway through, tell you what I'm thinking so far, give you a better idea of the plot, and then take it from there, alright? So stick around, I'll be back. Hey everybody, we're watching The Miracle Season. I want to do a quick check-in here. We're at the 48-minute mark. No seconds, 48 minutes, right on the dot. Lucky me. Not much more to share with you. I'll elaborate a little bit more on the plot, I think. So there's a volleyball team in Iowa City, Troy, or West Troy, or something like that. And they're the reigning state champions. And there's a girl on the team named Caroline, Line for short, that was her nickname, obviously, who was a very energetic, outgoing volleyball player, who was friends with everybody, captain of the team, the setter of the team, the heart and soul of the team, obviously. And it's in the synopsis, so I'm not ruining it for you. Tragic accident, she dies. I won't tell you how, let you learn that on your own when you watch it. So she dies, and of course the entire high school feels the pain of that, but more specifically the volleyball team. They wanted to do back-to-back state champions, and she was like their best player, at least their best setter, and again, the heart and soul of the team. So initially they're not going to play volleyball, but as you know, it's called The Miracle Season, so you can kind of guess what's going to happen here. Well, but it's more about the story about how do they get back out on that court, what gives them the courage, and then how do they do. So as you can imagine, when they had to forfeit a couple of games because they weren't playing, and then they come back and their heads aren't really into it, and that's pretty much where we are. Some interesting but sad parts of this is the beginning of the story. Caroline lives, with her parents, and her dad is part of the school. I don't know if he's a principal or something like that, or at least a teacher, probably a teacher at the school. So she's interacting with him. Come to find out, her mother's deathly ill. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but she was planning on dedicating this season to her mother, and then this tragic accident happened, and of course it impacted her mother. So her poor father, Ernie, is now left all alone because of what happened here. So I thought that was how tough it would be for him going through what he was going through, then a tragic accident. Now he's lost both of the women in his life, and not struggling to get by, but you can imagine the emotions that he's going through. Anyway, sorry, that was a lot longer check-in than I originally thought, but it's very good, highly emotional so far. The music is like on point for the scenes that it needs to be. But we'll see where it goes from here. I think we understand what's going to happen by the title, and of course I will not ruin that for you, but I'm enjoying it, and I think you will too, at least up until the 48-minute mark. We'll see where it goes from here. Stick around, I'll be back. Hey everybody, we're at the credits, the actual credits of The Miracle Season, and all the extras that they put in the credits have just ended. I've been watching them that long, and IMDb gives this a 6.2. That's baffling. I was debating between an 8 and a 9, and then it dawned on me, it has to be a 9. Has to be a 9. When you watch this movie, you'll laugh then after you watch my review, and then you go ahead and watch this movie, you're like, I get it now, why it's a 9. You gotta check it out. It's a very good movie. You know how I love true stories, and then they give you the little bit of extra at the end, and they really do a good job of that here. and they show you really how the movie was pretty well made based on, you know, some of the things that they show at the end. So it seems, I don't know how much of it's true, you know, but you know the season's true, and the tragedy's true, and all that stuff, and the best friends and stuff like that. I think I was trying to think of areas of opportunity for this film. I think the only thing that maybe they could have done, maybe you didn't need to, was dive into the other volleyball players a little bit more. I mean, there's a lot of focus on the coach, the best friend, you know, Caroline, of course, and then maybe a little bit on the freshman. But other than that, you don't really, you know, learn much about the volleyball players themselves. And maybe that's okay. Maybe that's the way it was meant to be. Maybe you know, you should only worry about those in that sense. That's the only thing I can find fault with in this movie, and that's a stretch. That's really stretching it, but that's what's keeping it from a 10, I guess. I don't know, but very, very good movie. I loved every part of it. Very emotional. I think there's people who can't contain themselves like I can, that might you know, get a little teary-eyed in this one multiple times, but I liked it. Sports movie, true story. Things at the end to give you a little bit more afterwards, and the acting was good. And you know, I mean, I still can't think of anything else. And one thing I was gonna say, I was watching. They showed a lot in volleyball. It's like almost every point, but they didn't. They did a good job of summarizing the matches and stuff like that, so you're not just going back and forth. And they only show you the good parts and the exciting parts, kind of like Hoosiers in a sense. If you've seen that in other sports movies, but this one is another true one, out of Iowa. So that's it for me. You got it here. We're giving it a 9. Kimmel's Irish Pub. Check it out. Make sure you leave a comment after you, not after you watch my review. Go watch the movie, then come back and leave me a comment. Well, if you want to do it both times, that's cool too. I like comments. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.